Hi everybody, Tex-Mex here. Thanks for joining me for another video. As you can see, I have a Pro Chrono DLX set up down there. I just got this sucker. I'm trying to chronograph. I wanted to see the difference in 357 Magnum between a revolver and a rifle. Now I'm going to use a relatively long barreled revolver. I'm going to be using my Ruger Blackhawk. It's got a 6.5-inch barrel, and then I'm going to be comparing it to my Rossi R92 that's got a 16-inch barrel, just to see what kind of differences we get in speed out of these different 357 loadings. I'm going to try some 110 grain, some 125 grain, and some 158 grain, and see if there are any significant differences out of the pistol versus the rifle. I expect there are going to be. Typically you get a much more powerful round out of a rifle barrel as compared to a pistol, and with more speed, more velocity comes more power, which means if you intend to use it for some sort of hunting, shooting it out of a longer barrel is obviously going to be advantageous to you if you're trying to take down medium-sized game. So let's go ahead and try this. This is the first time I've used this device. This is an optical device. They have different types of chronographs. The less expensive ones, like this one, are optical. So that means there's little sensors on the top of that thing that will see the bullet fly through and will time its speed based on its position between the two optical points. They make radar ones as well. Those are much more expensive. I'm sure they're much more precise as well, but I don't need extreme precision, not for this test and not for what I do. So I expect this to be fun. I've wanted to get one of these for a while. I plan to use it a lot with my 22 testing because I got a lot of 22s. I wanted to compare it to each other here in the upcoming months, and I'm going to be using this chronograph as well for that, to see if there are much differences between different types of bulk pack, different types of match grade ammo. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That's for another day. Today it's 357. So let's get this sucker loaded up. I'm going to do 5 rounds of the 110 grain first. It's this Winchester 110 grain jacketed hollow point. I have a bit of this box left, so I wanted to try it through the revolver and the rifle and see what kind of different velocities we get. So I'm going to do 6 rounds in each. Now I'm going to be calling out the speeds as well. I've got an app here that's supposed to be taking this information down, but this is the first time I've used it, and if the app doesn't get it, I want to make sure that I have the speeds. So later on, when I'm in front of a calculator, I can figure out what the standard deviation is, and obviously figure out what the slowest and the fastest was between these different calibers. So starting out of the Blackhawk first, 110 grain. 1459. 1491. 1485. 1490. And 1492. Not bad, not bad. Well, that's only 5. Actually, I got one more to go here. And the last round, 1489, relatively consistent. So let's see how this 110 grain does out of the rifle. And here we are with the Rossi 16-inch barrel, 110 grain. 1810. 1783. 1767, 1796, 1776, good year, and 1774. Once again, relatively consistent. So what I'll do is here in a second, well, probably at the end of the video, I'll go ahead and put up all the numbers and show the standard deviations and the differences between all the different ammunitions. But let's go ahead and switch off now and go on to the 125 grain. And now we're going to shoot the Blackhawk, shooting 125 grain jacketed soft point, 357 Magnum Remington UMC. $11.64. 11.39. 22.99. Huh. 2200, 2308, and 1446. Wow, there's a lot of deviation there. You know, it may be this Remington UMC 125 grain. I did a video earlier. I'm not sure which of the two videos I'm going to be posting first, this one or that one. But I shot a bunch of different, well, I shot 3 different types of ammunition out of this Blackhawk, and it didn't like the 125 grain. And I'm wondering if it's just this particular UMC ammunition is just not very consistent. So we'll see. Let's see how it does out of the Rossi. And here we go with the Rossi with the Remington UMC 125 grain. 2049, 2076, 2102, 2086, 2054, and 2050. Yeah, not sure how to think about this ammo. I might try to find some different 125 grain at some point to test it as well. So now let's move on to the last one, which is the 158 grain. And now we're going to do the Blackhawk, shooting the 158 grain jacketed soft points American Eagle. I only have 11 rounds, so I'm only going to be able to shoot 5 out of the Rossi. I'm shooting 6 out of the Blackhawk. It's my fault. I forgot to bring another shooting bag that I had packed, and unfortunately that shooting bag is well over 100 miles away from me right now. So I'm stuck with the ammo I have. But anyway, let's see how the Blackhawk does with this ammunition. 1289, 755. That doesn't sound right. 1344, 1015, 1254, 1411. That's 6. Interesting. Now that was pretty well, let's just say it wasn't terribly consistent. So I'm not sure if it's my device. It seemed to be measuring well. Obviously, because this is an optical device, the sunlight can affect it a little bit, but I may just subtract that one 700 what was it, 750 foot per second reading, because that seems like that was probably not correct. But let's go ahead and try it out of the Rossi. Okay, and now the American Eagle 158 grain out of the Rossi. $17.51, $17.51, $18.05, $13.94, $17.73, and that's 5 rounds because I only had 5 rounds left. A little more consistent out of the rifle, but we won't know for sure until I start doing lots of maths, and I'm not great at the maths. So let me get this data downloaded, and we will look at the results when we get back home.